2016 or 2019, whatever it is from 2012 onwards, almost all same only few things are added up. So look at here guys, editions. In Windows Server you can't say it is an edition, but it is, we can say like a Standard Edition, Datacenter Edition, Essentials. Okay. Next one is Hyper-V. So these are the main editions. After that one, important editions are Standard and Datacenter. So what is the difference between Standard and Datacenter? No difference. Okay, no difference. Here go to like this. First point, minimum requirement to install Standard and Datacenter. Same only. Minimum requirement is also same. 1.4 gigahertz processor, 2 GB RAM, okay, 20 GB hard disk or 32 GB hard disk. You can say 32 is better option. Okay. No difference in it. Maximum support. Maximum support. For example, 64 CPU socket. Minimum requirements also we know, right? So that is also we'll add it again. So CPU 1.4 gigahertz minimum is required. RAM 2 GB minimum. Okay, if you are using Hyper-V, then we require to put a higher. Hard disk minimum 20 GB is required. So better option is 32 GB. Okay. Maximum support, like how many CPUs you can able to put it. Physical CPUs are 64 CPUs you can put it, or socket means where you put a CPU. CPU socket means in the socket you put a CPU, right? Single CPU means 64 CPUs you can put it. Normal motherboard contains only one socket. Normal motherboards, our motherboards, only single socket. Single socket motherboards means single CPU can put it. But in a server related motherboards, means hardware related kind of stuff, in a server flexibility motherboards contains single. Some motherboards are only one single socket, some are having two sockets, some are having four sockets, some are having six sockets, like that. 64 sockets up to it will support, or 640 core, 640 cores it will support. Core means a single processor is divided into multiple processors. If it is a single processor only, we divide into multiple processor. So we use Xeon processor from Intel. It is a Intel Xeon processor for servers. So basically the most commonly used Xeon processor, a 10 core processor. 10 cores are there inside. Some are having 4 core, 5 core, depends upon the model it is. Okay, like i3, i5, i7 is there now. i3 is earlier 2 core processor, now it is 4 core processor. i5 earlier it is 2 plus 2 kind of processor it is. It means 2 processor, 4 logical processor. Now it is a 4 core processor. 4 core processor with a hyper threading. Okay, like that it is there. So Intel Xeon processor we use generally, it is a 10 core processor. So obviously it is a maximum support. 4 terabytes of RAM. Support RAM is 4 terabytes of RAM. Okay. Support up to 4 terabytes of RAM it will support. So how much big RAM? We don't have a 4 GB RAM also we are difficult to facing.
Hello.
Now commonly we are using 4 GB nowadays. Earlier days 4 GB RAM means it's you are a great person. Okay.
Hello.
So yeah.
Hello.
Yeah, tell me. I can able to hear. Tanu. Okay. Minimum requirement, maximum support for both Standard and Datacenter Edition. It is for a same for a kind of stuff. CPU generally for a servers. The server generally using Xeon process from Intel. So AMD is a little different. Okay, that's AMD model we are not familiar for servers. Yes. Roles and same for Standard Edition. Datacenter. Okay. Minimum requirements same, maximum support is same, roles and features are same. Then why it is two are there? Why it is a different costs are there? We'll see it is. In Standard Edition. I put a standard. In Standard Edition, per core license, you can run 2 virtual machines in Hyper-V. Along with your operating system, it also comes with a Hyper-V. Hyper-V is one of the role in a Windows servers 2012, 16 and R2. So like so 2008 R2 onwards it is there, like 2008 R2, 2012, 2016 like that it is there. So we can run in a Standard Edition 2 virtual machines in the Hyper-V per core license. So it is a per core license. If you are using 640 cores, means 640 licenses you have to take it. If you want to activate all the things. Not per CPU also it is. Not per CPU also it is per core. Like a Xeon processor, only single processor you are using, 10 cores are there. You want to activate, use all the 10 core processor, you have to take 10 licenses. Data center. You can create unlimited VMs, virtual machines, and can run at a time 1024 virtual machines in Hyper-V. Actually not, we should not use in Hyper-V, we should use like this. We can run 2 Hyper-V virtual machines like that. This is a original per core license. We can create a unlimited Hyper-V virtual machines and run at a time 1024 Hyper-V virtual machines. Okay, that is the only one difference between mainly standard and data center. All remaining features and roles are same. Some people think that is a data center, it contains more roles and features. No, okay, both are same. Only Hyper-V virtual machines are different. So when we install the operating system, I said select this option, right? So you can look at this thing. See, 2019 data center, 2019 data center standard evaluation. But 4 options are there. For one option, it is a desktop experience is there. Another one is not there. Okay, I will tell what is that difference. But see, it is 64-bit architecture, 2019 standard and data center. Essentials you have to download separately, not comes like this. Okay. Essentials. Essentials has a limitation. 25 users and 50 devices only support. Not all roles and features support. So we can't now we can't go with what are the roles and features supported in essentials. Okay, not all type of roles and features not supported. Only few it will support it. So each one by one you go, it will take time. Okay, so I'm not going through that one. Okay, so no domain joining, no domain controller, so no active directory anyway. Anything active directory. So it is suitable for small organizations. Suitable for small organization. That is enough. Okay. These are the mainly 3 editions. One more edition is there, that is called a Hyper-V. Hyper-V separate also there. It means, look at here guys, Hyper-V is not application, so you cannot able to download Hyper-V. Okay. Again I'm telling, Hyper-V is virtualization platform. Okay. You can create and run virtual machines. Okay, virtual machines. We know the what is the use of virtual machines. You can install any operating system in the virtual machines. Okay, so because of your Windows Server, your Hyper-V, we can't install Linux. Not like that. We can install any kind of operating system in the Hyper-V. Hyper-V is not an application. It is a feature or a role in Windows OS, current OS, not all OS support. Okay, so it comes with the Windows 8, 8.1, Windows 10. Next, I will write separately. So Windows 8, 8.1, Windows 10. Again, Windows servers 2008 X64 means 64-bit, because 2008 having a 32-bit 64-bit, 64-bit minimum. But I never seen in that one. But 2008 R2 I have seen. 2012 I worked. 2012 R2. 2016, 2019. Newer version we are not right, but 2022 also it is there. As a feature or a role in Windows OS. This is a feature. Here it is a role. Next. This is some point. Here it is a point, another point. Additional 2GB RAM required to install and use Hyper-V in our Windows 10 or a Windows Server. So additional 2 GB means all I have a I'm using a 4 GB RAM. For example, minimum requirement is 2 GB RAM. Okay, our PC minimum requirement is 2 GB RAM. You want to install Hyper-V. You want to use Hyper-V. Additionally, you have to put another 2 GB RAM minimum. Next, Hyper-V server. Windows Hyper-V server. Hyper-V server. Because in 2019, for example, 2019, of course, it's there in 2016, of course, 2012 or 2012 direct Hyper-V server. It is a core Hyper-V server machine or system, or you can say server or system or a machine, anybody can use it. Core Hyper-V, it is like a, you don't get any OS. Okay, so this is okay, we will get Hyper-V with our Windows OSs. Above Windows OSs means in these OSs we get a Hyper-V, and core Hyper-V is also there. It is a core Hyper-V means no OS and no other OS, no OS features. It is core hypervisor. It is a, of course you can write core hypervisor server. Okay, it is a hypervisor server. Core or not core, like you can use core also. So this is about your Hyper-V. So what is the use of this one? We can create a virtual machines inside. So these are the 2016-2019 editions: Standard, Datacenter, Essentials, Hyper-V, and of course storage is also there. Storage is also there, but currently we talk about these things only. Important is Standard and Data Centers. Essentials we don't use it. Very small organization purpose. Still there is a lot of roles and features we want to support here. Okay, and Hyper-V is a core Hyper-V, only Hyper-V practice, Hyper-V server virtualization purpose only. Server virtualization. In a virtualization, there is a different types of virtualization. This is belongs to server virtualization purpose. Okay, that we talk in a virtualization. Next, little types are there, guys. Look at here. Okay, in our Windows servers. Okay, in Windows servers. So at the time of 2008, okay, they introduced GUI mode and core mode. Core means CLI type, means purely CLI, only CLI. Okay, so core mode is this. 2003 up to 2003, it is a only GUI mode only, and it is lightweight operating system if you are comparing now. But in a core mode, it is in 2008, it is a big one. Like now Windows 7, Windows 8 or Windows 10, it is a heavy disk space is requirement, RAM requirement, features also higher in a 2008 onwards. So they introduced core. So core is a CLI type, no graphical interface. Okay, you can use commands and regular Windows commands. Okay, we can work with Windows commands and PowerShell and remote server managers. Remotely you can use server managers, means WinRM kind of tools are there. Okay, these are the server mode. So what is GUI mode? It is GUI mode. There is a lot of names are there. Full version, desktop experience. You can see in this one, in a bracket, it is desktop experience. Desktop experience, GUI full desktop experience. So mainly GUI based OS. Directly we can use server manager to manage it. Okay, so it is full version. Core is say from 2008 server. These two are there. Full versions, GUI versions, or desktop experience means it's a GUI version. Core or nothing is telling. So means it does not saying any core or not. Meaning is the first one and third one. In bracket, it is not saying any, it's a core or CLI kind of stuff. It's not telling. The meaning is it's a core only. CLI used like this. Now the point, Windows Server Core. CLI type of thing. Advantage is less hardware footprint. Meaning is it utilizes lesser hardware than regular system. For example, GUI requirement, the GUI required RAM is how much? 2 GB. The CLI type means the core type. The CLI type required RAM is 512 only. See how much RAM it is. The disk space is also occupied very less, like a 2 GB, 3 GB occupation. Okay, if you have a 10 GB disk also, you can able to do it. So that is a less hardware footprint. Next, one more point you have to tell. The point is, it is a best for branch offices. 5, which is best for a branch offices. So less security, because a branch offices having a less security than a main offices, because main office lot of staff is there for maintenance, but branch offices only 1 or 2 administrators, senior admin and junior admin is there. Okay, so again you have to configure for security, physical security, network security, like that. It is little additional because it's a CLI. People are feel very difficult. So I use 2008 CLI. Even 2012 CLI also I didn't much because people are not interested in it. Okay, So at the time of 2008, even 2008 textbooks, more concentrate on CLI. Okay, creating domain controller, creating additional domain controller, RODCs in CLIs. So a lot of scripting is there. You have to fail at least 4 or 5 times. Then you may successful. You may get successful. That's only okay. So that is so from onwards it is there. Next, at the time of Windows Server 2016, okay, Hyper-V is a lot of improvement is there. Hyper-V is also introduced in the server. Where it is in the server, Hyper-V is introduced. So Hyper-V is also there. They introduce Nano Server. Nano servers are virtual machines. Hyper-V. It's a Hyper-V virtual machine. Okay, we cannot install Nano Server directly in on hardware. On hardware. Okay, so hardware means directly on hardware means like how you install Windows servers. We can't install like that. We can't install. It is a virtual machine in a Hyper-V. Okay, there is no CLI and no GUI. It does not contain any CLI or a GUI. So manage is important is PowerShell Direct. Okay, it's a PowerShell Direct. You can able to use it. It's a PowerShell Direct means my PC PowerShell to that one. PowerShell Direct is there. And another one is remote server managers. Through server manager also you can manage it. It will get IP address. You can join the domain. Okay, you can give IP address. You can domain joining is there. Not support all roles and features. Does not support all roles and features. So this is the thing. So few features are there. It faster it will work. Okay. It's faster than uh, full full and core versions. For server, very less hardware footprint. Now, disk requirement is 512 MB. 512 MB less than 1 GB hard disk requirement. Of course, it is a virtual machine. Hard disk requirement is even RAM requirement is also less than 512 MB. Because of Hyper-V, it will take minimum 512 MB RAM. So as a startup memory, the startup memory is 512 MB and disk utilization is 512 MB only. Disk also 512 MB only. Okay, no CLI, no GUI, only basic 1, 2, 3, 4 options are there. So these are the points in a different type of servers. Different editions are there. Like you go to 2012 or 2016 or 2019. These are the main editions. Datacenter and Standard Edition. Minimum requirement, maximum requirement, roles and features support It's the same for a data center and standard edition. Only difference is number of virtual machines we can able to run. In a standard is 2, in a data center is 1024 virtual machines you can run it. Unlimited virtual machines you can able to create it. 1 second. Okay, so sorry, these are the roles and features of standard and sorry, yeah, Hyper-V as a future we can able to get in our Windows operating system. Screen is not visible. Okay. Now it is visible. Guys, is it visible now? Okay. Turn off the camera. Deviously turn off the camera. And that it is a blank. Next, guys, Hyper-V as a feature, it is available in Windows 8, 8.1, 8, Windows 10. And also as a role, it is available in a 2008, 64, 2008 R2, 2012 R2, 2016, 2019. We'll get a Hyper-V with a Hyper-V get as a feature or a role with a operating. Means OS is there, OS other features are there, roles are there. Okay. Along with our other operating system. Means remaining operating system is operating system only. Additionally, Hyper-V you will get it.
So,
Yeah, tell me.
your screen is not visible to me. Only black screen is visible.
Now see. What happened? Now can you able to see? I open Google Chrome.
Yes, sir.
Okay. My internet speed currently is 10 Mbps. So that's the problem, I think. We will get Hyper-V with above operating system, along with operating systems, not with you can say along with the operating system. the operating system. Next, core Hyper-V is also there, Hyper-V servers also there. So that is directly it is Hyper-V server, no other operating system, only basic CLI, some command prompt, PowerShell, remote management only there. Okay, no OS, no feature means no GUI and stuff. Operate with the Windows commands and PowerShell, remote server manager, of course, remote Hyper-V manager for Hyper-V virtual machines. Hyper-V manager is there. Okay, from 2008. Okay, so this is a new versions. GUI full desktop experience type of things are introduced. One type of server is GUI server, another is a core server. Core means CLI, only CMD and PowerShell remote server access is there, not remote server access. So server manager, you know Windows Server Manager. So that server manager remotely, like I have a server manager, I connected to my server, remote server, so I can able to access. That is a remote server manager. Okay. Advantage of server core is less hardware footprint, best for a branch offices. So next one is in 2016, Nano servers are introduced. Okay, Nano servers are introduced. It is take very less hardware footprint, but not support all the features. Again, we can assign IP address, we can join a domain, we can rename the computer. That kind of stuff is there, but remaining is won't work here. Okay, so this is about your servers. So some futures I will tell, then we will take a break. Okay. Of course, when it is comes to the feature, there is a lot of features are there, but I'm not going to 2016 feature. Already I shared the PPT, guys. The first PPT I shared. So go through that one. There is a features are there. I'm not going to just try once. You can go through that features on yourself easily. I'm telling Windows Server services. What are the services? These things we are providing now. So you can take services, means here it is. I put a server, meaning is either it is 2016 server, 19 server, 12 server. I'm writing a most common services of a Windows server, not 2003 guys. 2003 having only 16 services, but now we have a more than 16 services. But most common services of Windows server. First one is Active Directory, domain service. This is called a ADDS. In an Active Directory itself, there is a multiple services are there. So we'll see that one. But now you can see DHCP server, DNS server. Okay, DHCP, DNS, IIS, nothing but a web server. IIS, web server. Okay, web server. Of course, in web server only, it is there is a part is there inside a web server. There is a FTP server is also there. Inside that one only FTP server is there. Okay. Windows deployment server. You know what is the use of this WDS? WDS server or a service. Service or server, whatever it is. Windows WDS is it will install the operating system through network. Windows Server update service. It meaning is WDS is install operating system through network. Okay, no need to carry a CD DVD kind of stuff. WSUS, each and every PC is update through internet. So WSUS, what it will do, it download the updates from internet and update the machines as per given. So it will update it. So what is the advantage of that one means? For example, I downloaded a something 100 MB data today for download data. Like there is 100 computers, 100 MB is downloaded today. Each PC, 100 into 100. So it has become almost a very big one, right? Almost like it is become around 10 GB data is downloaded. So what I have done, I download that 100 MB data and distribute it to all PCs through LAN. So data bandwidth will be saved. Okay, and it is very secure. Selectively we can update. Not required. Everything should be not required update, right? Selectively we can able to update application or a operating system drivers. We can able to update. WSUS. Remote access. This is for a VPN server purpose. Okay. Remote desktop service. Remote desktop. You want to connect remote desktops, or you are like there is a desktop, you want to connect it with the multiple users. So how to connect it? What are the gateways? So where is the location? So everything we can able to get it from the remote desktop. FSRM, file server resource manager. You know, we shared a files. The shared folder size is your disk size. For example, I have a shared folder in the 100 GB disk. So I can store up to 100 GB. How much free space is there? That much you can able to store it. Automatically you will get the disk size. You will get it automatically. Now what I'm doing is my employees can able to store in their profile with this like a 10 GB only. Each user only can able to store, can be like a quota we can able to create it. You know, whenever we got some storage space, we download something and put it there. I can put a role called you can say you have a folder, you can store the data up to 10 GB. That is called a quota. You have a folder, you can store the data, but you cannot store. You can store any data, but you cannot store media files like a MP3 files, MP4 files, like that, MKV files, like a media files you can't store. Okay, normal data like a .txt, .doc, .pdf, these files you can able to store, but you cannot store media files. So what is that one is condition. So what type of data is you can able to store, what data you cannot able to store it. Okay, and also whenever you store a data, if you are restricting access like a confidential files, important files, like that we can categorize type of data also. FSRM, file server resource manager. Data deduplication. Of course, we have a Hyper-V in it. Data deduplication, Hyper-V. Discuss the target server. This is comes under file and storage. Okay, under file and storage, FSRM, data duplication, iSCSI, work folder, data deduplication, iSCSI, DFS, distributed file system, DFS replica. The one or two are there extra. Okay, and of course Hyper-V is there, WDS. Okay, network NPS is also the network protection service. Network protection services, like usually it is a network access service type. Okay, it is kind of network access service type. It means when you are using VPN, so you want to authenticate a user connected, right? So that is a network protection services. So like whether what things should be connected, what things should not be connected, we can define under network protection services. Host gardening, okay, host gardening, shielded virtual machines. Actually, features are there. Shielded virtual machines. Next one is nested virtual. Nested virtualization. Okay, steered virtual machine, nested virtualization. Okay, change. Settings of virtual machine when it is running. Like a hot swap type. Okay, it's like a hot swap. And of course there is certain features are there. Yeah, these are the main Windows Server kind of stuff. Of course, under Active Directory, and of course few more things are there, but under Active Directory domain services we have other things also. Certification service means ADCS. It's a Active Directory certification service. AD RMS, right management system. Writer rights management system service, you can put it. Right management system, actually it is, as I remember, system, so many days are now. ADRMS, FS, FS, Federation, ADRFS, Federation service. Active Directory lightweight, LIGH, lightweight directory service. These are the Active Directory related, totally 5 Active Directory domain services, certification services. Okay, so right management service, okay, federation services, lightweight directory access services, and we need an Active Directory, that's it. Okay, DHCP, DNS, web servers, WDS server, WSUS servers, remote access servers, network protection server. Okay, network protection service, something is there, so server or service. Okay, so whatever it is remote desktop services, file and storage. Under file and storage, FSRM, data due duplications, iSCSI target, work folder, DFS folder. These are the things, and of course Hyper-V is also there. So these are the important roles in a Windows server. Of course, we use only Active Directory like that only. Okay, guys, understand up to here? Still screen power? Hello? Understand up to here?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Okay, take a break. Stop recording here.